Okay, welcome to Section 8 Lessons. This is going to be the fourth volume in our series. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Jay. I am the owner of Section8Consulting.com. Today, we're going to be covering a very serious topic, which will be about how to get emergency housing assistance. And for those of you that are seeking emergency vouchers or vouchers for any type of housing. Now, before we get started with the video, I want to tell you that the video itself is going to be about 8 minutes to about 15, so we're going to keep it short and brief so you're able to learn without spending a long time with this. In addition to that, there will be one, maybe two ads that are playing. If you want to support us financially, then let the ads play the two times. Beyond that, if you want notifications for further lessons, you can subscribe to the channel if that's what you want to do. Also, you can find links in the bottom of the description which will show you essentially our playlist for all these volumes. You'll also find a link to my website, and if you need assistance with getting housing quickly, then I would suggest booking a consult with myself. I'm a Section 8 consultant, obviously, with the website. Beyond that, there will be some other additional information about different things we're going to be covering in the video, so you'll be able to find those links there too as well. All right, so now that we've covered that in the long portion of that, first thing we need to come to an understanding on is starting Monday around the country, there are going to be millions of evictions. The numbers are anywhere from 10 to 40 million, and most people are well aware of this. And so, what I would like to address today is some of the last things we could potentially do to help some of you seek out housing vouchers, or whether it be emergency vouchers or other systems to get housing. As it stands right now, most housing authorities in the country at this point have locked their doors, and and even more of them have actually quit answering the phone. So by the time we reach tomorrow, which is Monday, I would presume at that point that less than 3 to 5% of the housing authorities in America will be open. They simply do not have the employees to accommodate all the different people that are going to be calling and trying to come to the door for vouchers when they, in fact, most of them don't even have the money for it right now. Now, beyond that, what we're going to talk about is not really so much what most of you have been thinking, and that's, I've got an emergency, I need an emergency voucher. Really, those things don't really exist at this point. They did issue 70,000 at the beginning of the year. The Biden administration gave them out, but by the time you break it up amongst all housing authorities, even big cities received about less than 50 of them, and they've already pretty much been given out. So we're going to talk about another type of emergency voucher that we can address, to whether you attempt to do this by yourself or if you need my assistance. A lot of people do get me to help because, like any application, if you give the wrong answers, you only have one shot at this. And if you mess it up and you don't understand what you're doing, you could potentially place very low on their waiting list, and you could end up not getting this when you need it. So, what we're going to take a look today are going to be operations manual, data manuals, and the actual test for coordinated entry or housing first. Now, for most of you that don't understand what that is, I'm going to tell you real quick that when the housing authority receives funding, they get it from HUD. So we already know that much. The second place that HUD gives out money to are going to be nonprofits. The nonprofits basically give out vouchers and their own version of it. They're still federally funded, but it's called COC, or Continuum of Care. So really, that's about the only thing left in America right now, because everything else is pretty much evaporated, or it would simply take too long for most of you that are about to lose the mortgage on your home, or you're about to lose your apartment, and so on. So I think this would be the best approach, is that you would listen carefully, try to figure out what's going on with this, so you can go out there and try to do it yourself. And if you don't really know all the answers to it, and you don't want to gamble with this, I would say book a consult with me or any other qualified professional. So I'm going to pull up a test real quick. We don't have time to go over the 50-page manual, so I'm just going to take a look at one of the tests. Now, you should realize this is a continuum of care test. There's another version of it called SBDAT, and so we don't have time to go over both. So we're going to loosely talk about this today, and I'm going to give you some links, okay? So, when you look at these assessments, one of the things about even housing authorities, whether it be a housing authority or a continuum of care, they don't like you having their manuals. They don't like you having their data manuals or operations manual, and especially their tests and stuff like that. Why? Because you can see on the screen, you see their scoring system, and you see it at the bottom here as well, okay? And so, deductive thinking tells you you earn enough points, you get the voucher. Okay, so that kind of wrecks them when you're armed with this kind of information. Now, I'm not suggesting the test that you see on the screen is going to be good for every city and state. Okay, there are a lot of variations of this, and every county certainly can adjust these. That's why I always say, if you're unsure whether it's going to work for you, try to get with a consultant seriously, because this is a very serious time. So. This will work for anybody that is going to be within 30 days of being evicted and going to be imminently homeless. So if you don't have a home in 30 days, then you're really pretty much by federal consideration going to be homeless. So what they're looking for are chronic people. That means that you would have a history of being homeless, or you would be imminently homeless in the next 30 days. And if you do so, you score about 25 points. Now, in order to get the whole 25 points, you would also have to add chronic, which means this is not the first time in life that you've had this event happen to you. And so if you look down at the bottom here, you'll see that in order to qualify for anything they have, you must get a 10 or better. So that alone qualifies you. You see? That's simple. Then it goes on to ask where you slept last night is, sorry, 1B. And then you look down at 1D, have you been homeless before? And that talks about the homeless aspect of this. In addition to that, they'll ask how many times have you been homeless in the last 3 years. And so with that being said, you'd want to indicate more than 4 times. I know it seems a bit bizarre, but let me tell you something, guys. One of the things you're looking at this, you're thinking, okay, I'm an ordinary person, I'm about to lose my home. How is this ever going to work for me? It's simple. We already know that housing authorities, whether it's the housing authority you need a voucher from or whether it's continuum of care, we already know the system is rigged. Okay, so if your morals or your ethics are so high that you're unable to bend the truth a little bit, then you probably wouldn't get a voucher from anybody to begin with. These are perilous times. You have got to do what you have to do. I'm not suggesting anybody lie, and I'm not suggesting that if you lied about any of this, that it's certainly not going to get you arrested. It's not against the law. So I think you understand what I'm telling you. This is your only and last opportunity, would be taking an assessment and then getting with a coordinated entry program director or a navigator or a person that would give you an assessment. So as you're looking at the test, and in summary, these are the questions, and at the bottom you'll see that you have RRH, and they'll grant it at 10 to 17 points. You have non-supportive services at 18 to 27 points down here. And then permanent supportive housing at 28 plus. And usually what that means is you don't pay any rent. It's just permanent supportive housing. This particular voucher, whether it be PSH or RRH, meaning rapid rehousing, would grant you, they usually go through the process after the assessment that day. You should expect to call back from a worker within a week, possibly 2. And then usually all of it's finished within 35 days, unless you're an unfortunate soul that might be living somewhere out there in Florida. Florida has an integrated system, and so does California. So that's why I always tell you guys, don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to this type of thing. So I want to provide you guys some links, okay? So I'm going to go up here, and you're going to be able to find these in the description. So the second variable test we'll be talking about is SBDAT, and this is going to be the prior decision assistance tool. It says everything. Again, I've just produced the second manual today, so either I know what I'm talking about or I don't. That's the difference between me and a lot of people that make videos about housing and vouchers. They back it up with hot air. I back it up with manuals. These manuals are how they train their people. So I think you can distinguish the difference between somebody that knows how to get your housing after a 20-year career and 6 of it being on YouTube. I can provide manuals. Other people, I don't know what they're providing other than just good conversation for YouTube. Beyond that, as we scroll down, you'll find this SBDAT. And again, this is not the most current copy. It's not the same copy used in every city, but you'll start to see that you have assessment questions, and you also see how they do the scoring component of this here. And I believe that's on page 19. And as you start going down, they'll start asking you questions. I think around 22 through 35. And so, again, if you have both the questions, the answers, then the only thing left with your cases is whether or not they're going to grant you a voucher. What did I just tell you about getting the appropriate score? If you score enough points, you get the voucher. It's simple as that, okay? It is less convoluted than dealing with a housing authority. So again, I'm going to make a direct appeal to many of you, and I realize that a lot of you, over 10 million people around Monday will have a filing for eviction. Many of you have already been put out of your home. Look, guys, You can leave this in the capable hands of 211. Those people are idiots. They'll hang up on you. And if you've ever dealt with them, you're really going to dislike that. Your second option is when you reach the homeless shelter, the people that work at the homeless shelter, I'm telling you, they probably just got their GED out the bubblegum machine. And if you think for a minute those people give a damn about your case, you're crazy. You'll sit in there because there's a financial benefit for you being in the shelter. Do not leave the second most important thing about your life in jeopardy with this stuff. So either start reading these manuals, figure out how this works, watch some of these videos that I have, or get with a qualified professional that can help you navigate the system. And I mean do it quickly, because at this point, we really are overnight. We're so close to it being too late. It's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? So we're that close. So those are your real options. So this is about as emergency you're going to get. Even if I told you, okay, let's talk about housing authorities. There's 5% around America. Housing authorities still open. Let's go apply for the emergency housing voucher they have. That would take 8 months to 3 years. That's why I think it's so ridiculous that they would even put that on national news. Oh, we've got emergency vouchers. Well, why isn't it issued in an emergency? It's not even that quick. You would be completely bankrupt and living in the woods by the time you'd get one of those. So I'm just telling you folks, if you really don't understand how the system works and you're not willing to do whatever it takes to keep yourself off the street, then you're going to do very badly with this. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to spend a little bit of your money to ensure housing, then I can probably help you with it, or any other qualified professional, in the field. But if you're going to leave it in the hands of social workers and caseworkers that really don't give a damn, and I've got 400 cases, they don't specialize in this stuff. They specialize in pulling out an application, and they put your name, your address, and a few answers, okay? They're not trained in this stuff. They're trained to make you feel better. They're trained to find resources, but they're not trained with any of these manuals. So if you think the social worker, caseworker can trump me, they're not even close. They're not even on the same light speed as me. So beyond that. So we're going to give yes for that and that. So with this video, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I wanted it to be short. I wanted to present my case and then present you with the manuals. And if you believe that you need assistance, you need help with something like this, I would encourage you to get in touch with me. If you believe that you've got this, thank God for you. I'm glad to hear that. So that's what I have for you today. I'll provide the links for this information. You look it over, you make your decision, and hopefully when Monday comes around, guys, I'm hoping for the best for all of you. Whether you have a mortgage, a home, or you're renting, or you're on the way out, I really do. I am concerned about most of you in this country, what's going to happen to you, okay? Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.